G'day. So today I'm going to talk about posture and how that's going to influence you not only through pain and dysfunctional movement, but also how we can also correct posture so that way we get you to the results that we need to get you to as soon as we can. Now first we need to be able to look at your posture side on to be able to get an idea of whether this person is kyphotic, which is a rounding of the shoulders and the forward head posture, or lordotic, which is a curve of the lower back. And then there's a combination between the two. There's kyphotic at the top and lordotic down the bottom, or the pushing of the hips forward, which is called sway back. And what I want to do is just have a look at Lennox today and just point out a few things of how we actually work with our clients so that way we can really zero in on the areas that we need to work on, and then also optimize the speed of your results as quickly as we can. Now, bear in mind this is not a strength and conditioning program. This is all about getting some person's posture correct first, and once we've got that posture correct first, then we can go into the strength and conditioning. But consider that when you don't have good posture and you go into the strength and conditioning, this will always be inhibited to his results, because all we're doing is just building strength and conditioning on poor posture, as opposed to getting the posture correct first in a static form, and then we get the posture correct second on the movement part of his program. And so, as you can see, when I have Lennox standing there, you'll see a number of things that may be going on there. Now, Lennox's posture is actually pretty good, and he's done this before, so he also knows the tricks of being able to get over this. But generally, as you can see, you can also see that Lennox has got a little bit of rounded shoulders at the top here. And because he's generally quite tall, what actually happens is that his head will generally go forward as well. Now, I would say that he is a sway back. Majority of the people are sway back, which means that this part here is rounded and this part here is tilted. And you might be able to see in the video there that his hips are also starting to go forward as well. That's why we use the plumb line. It gives us an indication straight away of what his body is doing without us having to do tests or just having a look. Because if we're not assessing their form or assessing their posture, then we're only guessing. And the more that we guess, the longer time it will take to be able to get those results. And so, like I said, what we're looking with the plumb line is making sure that the plumb line, this piece of string, goes through the back of his ear, through the top of his shoulder, through the middle of his leg here, and you can also see it also goes through just in front of his elbow there. The string would also just come behind the kneecap here, and then of course we've lined him up at the bottom here to be able to make sure that what his posture looks like. Okay. Now, generally with a side-on view, that's what we get. Now what we'll do is we'll get Lennox to turn the other way. Have him turn the other way for me. All the way around. That's it, good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to line him up with the piece of string here, and it's going to break him at the ankle there. And the same deal again. So we're going to have him looking straight ahead. Now what you're going to do is you're going to look at the other way. Now generally with most people is that they'll have a rotation going on. Okay. Now in the instance of Lennox, what I can see is that he's got a rotation from right to left. Okay. And if he has that rotation from right to left, then generally what will happen is he's got some sort of issue with either his lower back or through his thoracic spine. Now I know with Lennox he's just been seeing a medical practitioner just recently because of a pop rib. Now that could be some of the causes of why he's got this rotation going on at the moment. So that way he's actually taking the emphasis off that pain. Okay, and that's generally what happens with pain. Is the pain will move your body into a position it doesn't get any more pain, and then you'll start moving with that posture. So in other words, if you have that posture because you're getting out of pain, what will happen is if I overload this body with that pain, we'll end up breaking him, and then he'll further go see the medical practitioner. So what we want to do is we want to set this up from the beginning where we know what his posture is doing first before we take him to the next step, which is corrective exercise. So I hope that gave you some insight into how we actually work with clients. If you like the video, then please subscribe to the button below, and I look forward to seeing you next time.